So this year, I'm really focused on my health, sticking to a routine, and that's why I've been loving Symbiotica. Symbiotica is
Gold has been to support.
Head over to Symbiotica.com. Should we go right now?
Couldn't get any better. Wait.
Hours, golden hour. Thanks for...
With love, welcome to Delicious.
Welcome back to Bachelor Happy Hours Golden Hour. Thanks for joining us. We're excited to have another episode together.
Absolutely. And if you haven't listened to our podcast from Wednesday, please check it out. Guess who we had? Our good friend and fellow Golden Bachelor I don't think she's a bachelor. Anyhow, it was Ellen on our podcast, and what fun we had talking to her.
We talked. I found Ellen to be as fun on the podcast as she was in the house.
She was great in the house. How about her princess date?
Okay, can we talk about that?
Well, can I just say anybody would have been excited, but she has never had.
She said that.
I was so special that day.
So for those, I can't imagine there's one of you out there, but for those of you who missed that episode, Ellen went on this fabulous date, got fabulous diamond earrings.
Michael Costello
clothes, and we didn't talk about this on the podcast, but here's a little dirt. So Ellen was handing out all the dresses that she didn't want. Do you remember, Susan?
Yes, I do. Mm-hmm.
That didn't fit her or were too big or whatever, too small.
You got one, didn't you?
I got one, and the way I got it, nobody wanted it because they said it was too big. And I finally looked at it. I wore it for the women's tell-all. It was this beautiful white jumpsuit. Mm-hmm. And I looked at these people that go, it's too big, it's too big. I said to them, what's wrong with you people? Have you never heard of a tailor? And I took it home and had about 2 feet taken in, and it was fabulous.
So I know Ellen's going to hear all of our podcasts. And Ellen, forgive me now, but this, I just have to share it. I'll never forget. First of all, her face was priceless when Michael Costello walked in and called her. And she wanted to go buy new underwear. She said, I don't have pretty panties on. She was embarrassed.
Wait, it's worse than that. We get to the wedding. Susan lectures her about her underwear. And then we get to the wedding. And
she did it again.
And she says again, she goes, I have terrible underwear. We look at her and go, have you not learned your lesson? What's wrong with you?
So I think for Christmas, we're going to send her Victoria's Secret underwear all the way.
I mean, she's going to kill you, Susan.
I know she is, but I do love you, Ellen.
Did you love her talking about her dating the guy that that was selfish that she dumped?
Right, and she saw right away that he was narcissistic, which is a definite no for me. But she did share. She went to an opening of a restaurant, I believe she said, and met somebody else. I mean, it's new. She couldn't really share with us yet, but that is the way.
It is.
Getting yourself out there.
Yep, and we talked about. So, again, for those of you who missed it, I don't know where you were, but Ellen and I won the pickleball tournament on the Golden Bachelor. And she plays a ton of pickleball, and she's so active, and that's how she meets people. She gets out and does
She's very active. She golfs. She plays pickleball.
And that's how she meets guys.
Yeah. She's in a great little community
in
Florida. So maybe we should move to Florida. Is that the problem?
But we're moving to Florida in a community, and we're taking up pickleball full time. That'll be it. All right. So today we have got even more fan questions. I love it. I love that y'all are listening and writing in. Please keep it up. And like always, we have some really good ones today. All right. If you want to send a question, reach out. Go to bachelornation.com/golden hour.
And please do it. But first, let's get started with today's question of the day. This is always fun.
Always.
Okay. So you ready?
Yep. Go for it.
What's one lesson you wish you had learned earlier in your dating journey? A lesson that we've learned early so we first start dating. A lesson?
I mean, I think many of our guests have touched on it. For me, it's being comfortable with being myself and not trying to please someone else, being my authentic self, which I usually am. Mm-hmm. But I think when we're first dating, when we were younger, that's harder.
I've always been who I am, which was maybe why I don't have a lot of dates. But the lesson, I still struggle with this, that people tell me, is don't trust everyone. And I'm a very trusting person. You yourself told me. Don't think everybody's as good as you are. Don't, you have to get to know them before you can trust them. And that's a problem I have. I guess that would be my lesson, is not to trust everything that comes out of anybody's mouth.
Well,
I find that difficult, though.
Well,
I look at the good in people.
Well, everyone has good and everyone has some bad. We're not perfect. I mean, you may be St. Susan.
I am St. Susan.
Yeah. But most of us are not perfect. And I think that's just, it's just be aware, right? So when I date now, I'm just aware of what they're saying. I don't.
Can I say something? We are ready to date now. And we'll practice all these things we learned, but we're not dating yet.
Okay, so let's get this right. When you have a date,
I'll call you as soon as I get a date, Kathy.
You know what's going to happen? All these people that are listening to our podcast, they're going to send
call
us guys.
All at once. Can we do a group date?
What, group date?
A group date.
We're going to do paintballing.
No, that would hurt. I would not do that.
All right. Well,
but that would be fun.
It would
we
be
could
fun.
get a group date together for both of us. Maybe we'll go play 9.
Susan, the only thing harder than having a date with one of us is having a date with both
2
of us.
If they can withstand that, we're bound to pick somebody.
All right. Well, let's move on. Come on. Let's start our questions here. We've got some great ones.
Okay. Question number 1. Marissa from Phoenix sent us this. Susan and Kathy, I did something that I'm not proud of. After a night out in a club with my best friends, I got a little too drunk and made out with a stranger on the dance floor. I cheated on my boyfriend of 1 year. The morning after this happened, I regretted it immediately, and I felt like I had to come clean. After I told him, he was completely heartbroken and said he needed some space from me. Do you think there's any way that I could win his trust back? I don't want to end things like this. He really means a lot to me.
You know what? This happens more times. I mean, rule number 1, why were you so drunk that you didn't know what you were doing? People use
alcohol.
People use alcohol as an excuse for a lot of bad behavior. I think that she's not in control of this. She's going to have to try to earn his trust back. It may or may not happen.
I admire the fact that you came clean immediately, but you got to give him some time.
Yeah.
And if he really loves you and realizes you did tell the truth and that's all you did. But the problem is he's going to feel like my friend saw you or who saw you that's going to come back and tell me. That's when it gets ugly.
You know, it does. Here's a couple of questions I have, which, Marissa can't answer for us. But she's been with a guy for a year and she's out clubbing with her friends. No problem. No problem with that.
Why are you kissing somebody else?
Well, people, when they get drunk, they say, I wouldn't know because I've never been drunk, but they say that you're real, you drop your inhibitions. So maybe you're not as happy with your relationship as you think you are.
Why did you kiss him? Yeah.
I mean, maybe.
That's true. That's it. Good luck with that one, babe.
Yeah, good luck. And next time, stay sober and things may go better for you.
I hope it doesn't end for you, and I hope he respects the fact that you did come clean and tell the truth, and you do regret it. But I feel as if even if he forgives you, it's always going to be there.
Oh, no, I don't think that at all.
I do. I think he'll never forget what she did.
Oh, I disagree. If anybody can make a mistake, I mean, she didn't go to bed with the guy. She made out with him. She came clean. I think if they
he could forgive her, yes.
And if you know what? If
you don't forget.
Oh, I do. If you forgive someone, oh yeah, Susan, if you forgive, you got to be able to move on and forget.
You can move on, and it's all good, but it's always there. It's always there. A second guess of trusting. That's
so you're saying he'll never trust her again?
I'm not 100%, but he would question things. Yeah, whenever given.
Okay, well that's it, Susan.
An uncomfortable situation, he's going to remember what she did.
Well, hopefully she's learned her lesson, isn't going to pull that again.
Yeah, absolutely. I wish you luck, babe.
Yeah, we wish you all the luck in the world. And stay away from the alcohol.
Serena, you know what?
Where should we go?
Maybe a beach. I have a good idea. Take the beach-bound vacation.
Off your first booking. That's beachbound.com to save. Tired of spills and stains on your sofa? Wash away your work. And here's the cherry on top, up to 60% off site-wide. It's backed by a 30-day satisfaction guarantee, so if you're not absolute...
Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep...
But I think lately he's just been more open about it. It really bothers me. It doesn't bother me that he masturbates, but the fact that he does it while watching says... I've been with my boy...
Compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
Okay, listener question number 2. Jess from New York says, I've been with my boyfriend for a couple of years now. He's always watched porn, but I think lately he's just been more open about it. It really bothers me. It doesn't bother me that he masturbates, but the fact that he does it while watching videos of other women makes me feel really insecure. On top of that, I asked him what kind of porn stars he's into, and he described women that are the total opposite of my body type and race. Does this mean that he's not actually that attracted to me? Is it worth me putting my foot down over my own securities, or should I keep letting him do his own thing?
Ouch.
Wait.
So,
the last line says it all.
what?
Should I keep letting him
do his
Honey,
own
you
thing?
don't have a choice. You're not in control of him.
No. And you know what? I've tried in a relationship. A man likes to watch. I don't get anything out of it. I'm sorry. But there's an issue here.
Why? Because he does porn?
No. She doesn't like that he's choosing somebody that's not her. So that's making her feel like she's not as attractive to him as he should be. He likes other race, but men are different than women.
Well, here's my...
I'm not going to excuse it. I don't dig it.
Well, it's not the porn of the...
It is.
No, you know what gets me? She asks him what kind of porn stars he's into. Like, who
Why
cares?
would you ask him that?
Who cares? It's like asking you what color flavor ice cream. Who cares?
And I wonder if it's all women. Is it women and men? Like, usually it's...
she's asking us. Here's what I would say, Jess. You're asking us. You're telling us you feel insecure. You're asking if he's not that into you. You're asking, is it worth putting your foot down? Have you talked to him about any of this?
I would.
No, I'm saying, has she? Jess, if you haven't, you need to talk to him about it, because if he's into porn and that's what floats his boat, guess what? You can either get on board or get out.
And is he masturbating in front of you after watching this? Are you there, or is he telling you about this? Like, how do you know this is what's happening? Is it a thing you do together? I don't know the details.
Can I just be honest with you, Susan?
Yeah.
I'm feeling really old right now. I'm feeling really old. Like, this wasn't in my marriage. It was like he had a Playboy on the back of the toilet. That was it.
Things have come a long way.
I feel old. I'm going to end it on that.
No, I know a lot of people that are into porn, and that's their thing. As long as he's not making you go without because he'd rather do that. I mean, I don't know. That's a tough one.
You know what I'm going to do while he's masturbating to porn?
What? Are you watching?
I'm taking the Neiman Marcus card and I'm going shopping.
Amen, sister. I wish you a lot of luck, honey. That's a tough one.
Okay.
Amy from Texas says, hi, Susan and Kathy. I'm an only child, and I've always been very close to my parents my whole life. I lived with them for a couple years after college, and I'm now finally on my own in my own apartment and financially independent. Good for you. But we still see each other all the time since I only live about 20 minutes away. I've been with my current boyfriend now for about 6 months, and I just recently introduced him to my parents. My parents are very conservative, and I begged them not to bring up anything political with my boyfriend. Of course they did.
Of course they did.
My boyfriend is much more liberal, and he's also not afraid to speak his mind. They got into a rather heated discussion throughout dinner. Now, every time I see my parents, they make random comments about my boyfriend, hinting that I should break up with him. I really like him, but I feel like I'm between a rock and a hard place. How can I get them to all get along? Oh, never talk about religion,
I was going to say,
politics.
it's like rule number one.
Wow.
Leave religion and politics at the door.
But it was her parents that brought it up. Yeah, and he's...
Can we just go back a minute?
Yeah.
She's in her own apartment and she's independent?
Mm-hmm.
What did we do wrong?
Well, I did mine, no. But that's a taboo thing. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion. I don't think their parents, I mean, okay, they had something to say, but not every time you see her. If your daughter's happy, he's good to her, they're falling in love, shut up.
Well, tell us what you really think,
Just
Susan.
because their political issues are different.
Listen, I live in Texas.
Yeah.
And, it is a pretty conservative state. Mm. And I think that parents there are a little different than they are in the Northeast in that they maybe feel like it's fair game to tell their daughter what they think and expect her to follow suit. But here's the thing. If she's independent, then it may mean she has to pull back from them a little bit and say, guys, I love you, but I love this guy too. Mm-hmm. And if you can't respect my right to date who I want, then...
Or keep your opinions to yourself.
I'm sorry. If they're how old, it's clearly, they're baked. They're not changing.
Yeah, no, and he's not afraid to share his
so Amy,
his feelings.
Amy, here's what I'm going to say to you. Either get a Confederate flag and start waving, or you're gonna have to stand up to your parents.
Either you beg one or the other. Babe, the boyfriend, please, if they start with this topic, just shut it down. Well, move on to something else. But he sounds like he's a little cocky, and he's going to go right back at him with his views. It's a no-win situation.
A no-win. But here's the thing. Do you think that it would be a problem going forward? Like with them, between them. Like stuff? We don't know. Is she liberal?
She didn't say that. She did not say that.
I mean,
every time she sees her parents, they make random comments.
Well, she says she also says she begged them not to bring up anything political. So this is not a first time deal here.
Yeah, well, be your own person, live your own life. Love your parents to death, and if it gets really bad, you go see them by yourself. Leave them home. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. Nothing's going to change. The parents are going to be the parents. The boyfriend's going to be the boyfriend.
Susan.
Yeah. Are you saying not see your parents anymore?
I'm saying play hardball. If you're in love with this guy, you want to be with this guy, and they're not being nice about it, Mom and Dad, I love you, but I really love Joe, John, Sam, whatever his name is.
And be with your man.
Yeah, be with your man. Yeah. Stand by your man. There's a song. Mm-hmm. Stand by your man.
Now, if it were a different situation, like he did you wrong and you were hurt and your parents took up for you and they end up not liking him very much and you get back together, that's even tougher. But this is a political. Like, really?
I mean,
mind your own business,
Amy,
everybody.
You're not between a rock and a hard place,
not at
sweetie.
All.
You're an adult and you're going to have to make a tough decision here.
Exactly. So if you do have a question for us, as you can see, we talk about it all. We want to hear it. Go to bachelornation.com/golden hour and you may be featured on our podcast.
So where should we go? Email and SMS list to unlock $150.
Hypoallergenic featherless down. Offers are subject to change and certain restrictions may apply. You're a growing business.
Kathy, how about that? We just got our first audio and Maylin gets to be live on our podcast.
Do you just love getting these audio calls?
I absolutely do.
I am currently talking to this new guy, but and it's going really well, and it's getting to the point now where we should probably start introducing each other to our families. But the thing is I have never introduced a guy to my family ever in my life. So just wondering your guys' advice on advice or encouragement, and I guess what should we do for the first time that happens? What should I expect? What should he expect? I love you guys. You guys are amazing. And you guys are just so fun and funny to watch. And I love you guys. Thank you.
I mean, her question, there's so many questions I have.
Right. Like, I don't know how old you are.
I don't know how long you've been seeing the guy.
Right.
I want to know why you've never brought a guy home.
What's the first thing that came to both of our minds when we heard her?
Maria.
She never brought anyone home before. And I remember Joey's reaction to that. I was like, what? Are you lying?
Well,
so, like I said, I don't know how old you are. Should never have brought anybody, or maybe she thinks that nobody was worth bringing home and she hasn't felt a certain way about somebody before.
Okay. Let's focus on she wants to bring him home. She wants her parents to meet him. So
wouldn't you tell your parents first? Like, there is somebody in my life, Mom, that I'm interested in.
But I'm going to keep
it
casual. I'm not going to say, I've never brought anyone home before.
No.
And I'm going to say, hey, I might not even bring him to my house. I might say, hey, Mom and Dad,
meet us.
Meet us for a cup of coffee or for a drink at a bar. This is a guy I've been seeing. Keep it casual for the first meeting so that you know
what? You have a good point there, because going to somebody's home is a whole nother ballgame, if you will. Meet out in a restaurant, have some appetizers.
Have a drink.
Maybe not a bar. You don't know what her family's like a bar restaurant.
Yeah, a cup of coffee. Go for a walk on the lake. Whatever. Do something that's casual. Don't be afraid, Malin. Don't be nervous about doing this. If you have found someone that you feel like you want to meet your family, you clearly are invested. You're invested in it, and you're feeling something for this guy that you've never felt for anyone else. Celebrate that.
And how do you feel about meeting his family for the first time? Are you nervous? Everybody's a little nervous. Just be yourself.
Do you remember meeting?
Yes, I do.
What was it like?
Is she from New York? She's fast. I used to try to finish their sentences. Dickie, my ex, was from North Carolina, from Charlotte, North Carolina, and they talk slow and, I'm quick. And she goes, she from New York?
That's really funny. I remember I was so nervous when my husband, we met in college, and he drove me to meet his parents for the weekend.
Right.
And we
went. You had to do a whole weekend?
Whole weekend.
Ooh.
And it was dark, and we're driving off the New York State Thruway, and he takes this exit, and I'm thinking, you don't live here. You're taking me parking. Nobody lives here.
Parking. Did you hear that, Kat?
I told you I'm old.
You're showing your age.
I'm showing my age.
You're going to make out in the park.
That's right. We did that too. We drove down this, I'm telling you, one
scary.
Blinking stoplight town, and he pulls in, and I knew
we're here.
It was like I'd landed on Mars. It was fun.
But it is. It's scary to meet people for the first time, and this is a big moment in your life. Embrace it,
celebrate
enjoy it. Yes, absolutely.
And you know what? We both wish you, if this is the guy.
Yes,
if this is the guy, Susan wants to be your wedding officiant.
Yes, and call us and let us know how this works out, because I want to hear how it went.
And we hope for you the best outcome for this meeting.
Absolutely. And I'm sure your parents are ready too.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? They're
Unless,
probably
of course,
thrilled.
you're 14. I mean,
I was saying they're probably thrilled. Finally, somebody's going to take her off our hands.
No, good luck with that,
really,
sweetheart.
We love you, and thanks so much for calling in.
And just know you were the first live one on our podcast, and we celebrate you.
We want more. We want more. Feel free to call in. Okay, so today, Susan, it's always game day.
Oh, yes.
Game face for game day.
Already.
All right, we're going to play this game that we've called Moral Quandary. We're going to read a quandary, if you will, and we each have to try. Let's try to guess what the other one would do, okay? All right. As soon as we start, you're going to get it.
Okay.
You're going to guess, then I'm going to guess.
All right.
All right. You're at the park with your grandkids when one of them finds a $100 bill on the ground. You are the only people at the park, and you don't see anyone else nearby. Do you keep the $100?
I let my grandchild keep it.
You're supposed to guess.
Oh, phooey. Sorry, I blew that one. I would let my grandchild. What would you do, Kathy?
What do you... Okay.
There's nobody else there. That's a
start this over again.
no-brainer.
We're going to start this over again.
Kathy would let the children keep it. No, Kathy might pocket it herself.
You think I would pocket it?
No.
You're wrong.
You would?
If there's no... What am I going to do?
You're not letting the kid have it?
with my grandkids?
Yes, the grandkid finds it. You let them keep it. Good for you.
Oh, yeah, I would let. But here's what I probably.
You look around, make sure nobody's there.
Here's what I thought you were going to say.
What?
Like, take a picture, put it up, lost and found.
No,
$100
I'm not
bill.
doing that. It's $100 for a bark.
Wait, what if your grandchild is like 6?
And you go home and tell mommy and daddy that's yours. You can spend it on whatever you want. Put it in the bank and save it.
College account. I'm keeping it and I'm putting it in their college account.
I'll tell you what. You get 50 to buy something and the other 50 goes into savings. Okay, my turn. Kathy, you're searching for a nanny for your 3 children.
I wish.
You interview someone who seems perfect. You're ready to make her an offer, but first, search her online. You discover her Instagram, which features almost all provocative, half-dressed photos. Do you still hire her?
What do you
say Kathy's going to say, hell no.
Hell no.
Nobody would. Like, that's a crazy one.
Wait a minute.
What?
Do
you think I would have hired her?
No, I don't think you would hire her. But I'm going to play devil's advocate here for a minute.
Okay, fair enough.
She was 16. She was drunk. She didn't know what she was doing. She hasn't looked at those pictures in, 10 years.
Yeah, no. First of all, if she's 16 and they've been there for 10 years, that's a big red flag.
That's okay. You know what I'm saying, though. She doesn't know.
No.
And by the way, you're being judgy again, Susan. I'm seeing a whole new side of you.
Okay, why? I don't want half-dressed, provocative people babysitting my kids.
Excuse me. Mm-mm. Would you let Katy Perry babysit your kids?
Mm-mm.
Oh.
She's too sexy for her. Yeah, no. Okay, try another one.
All right. You meet someone at a Starbucks and start texting. He asks you out on a date, but tells you via text that he feels he needs to let you know he's only ever dated men. You would be the first woman he's ever gone out with. Do you still go out with him? Now, guess what you think I would say. Okay, you thought too long.
Are you sure?
Susan,
I don't know what you'd say.
I live
on
in Texas.
And
Not
what's
only
that got
no, hell no. Not even a chance.
I'm just good. What do you think I'd say?
Oh, of course I would. I'd give anyone a chance.
You could be my new best friend.
Yeah, my new best friend. I just like to chat with him and let him buy me dinner, and he'd probably fall in love with me.
No, the let him buy me dinner is so wrong because I always pay my own way. But yeah,
no. Would you go out with him?
I might talk to him. Yeah,
it's not. Am I speaking English here? Would you go out?
The
with
first
him?
woman he's ever gone out with. If I liked him, yeah.
Okay, let me paint a clearer picture for you. Mm-hmm. You seem to be struggling. He's 69.
He's what?
No, I'm painting a picture.
See that?
I'm saying.
Why your world?
You're 67. Let's make him 65. You want a younger guy?
Oh,
good, you got
God.
him. You're 67. He's 65.
Mm-hmm. That's a whole different story.
What the hell you
I'm
think
thinking of
40?
myself as being younger and this happened. Yeah,
Susan, it doesn't say you when
meet
you were
somebody
30.
at Starbucks at this age of the game and he's only ever dated men. Then no.
Okay.
Of course not.
It took a long time to get there. I'm exhausted.
Well, I don't judge people. Like, remember the question we had, I guess, either it hasn't come out yet, but we did discuss one of the people's questions about the 2 women, and she was about to propose. Remember that one?
Yes, and he wanted to be with them.
She wants to try him in.
That's different.
That's what came
different.
to mind.
That's different, and that's a much younger situation. There is no way because
he's been with men for 60 years, if he's 60. But anyhow, I love this banter that we have. I love getting to know more about you, Kathy, and your opinions on things. Not that we always agree, but we agree to disagree. That's what friendships are
But don't
about.
you think we agree? Susan and I come from very different backgrounds. We're both Northeasterners, even though I live in Texas. I grew up in Massachusetts, outside of Boston. But we agree on a lot.
A lot of things.
And it's funny because our life has been so different.
And that does it for this episode. Thank you so much for joining us today on Bachelor Happy Hour's Golden Hour.
Thanks, everyone, for listening and tuning in. Please be sure to follow us as we have new episodes coming out every week.
And don't forget to submit your questions. As you can see, we love it. We absolutely love hearing from you. Go to bachelornation.com/golden hour to send them in. Plus, don't forget, if you know any friends that want to date Kathy
and Susan,
send them in and we'll check them out. We're really seriously considering a group date. I think I like that idea. We should talk more about that.
Okay, we will. We will. First, we need the guys, Susan.
Yeah, well.
First things
They're coming,
first.
baby. They're coming.
All right. Well, in the meantime, listen to Bachelor Happy Hour's Golden Hour on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Thank you so much for tuning in.
Have a great week. See you soon.
See you next week.